Okay, go ahead and get started. This meeting is a meeting of the school board in public for the purpose of conducting the school corporation's business. It is not to be considered a public meeting, public community meeting. There may be time for public participation as indicated by agenda items or as directed by the president. Meeting site is fully accessible. Any person requiring further accommodation should contact the superintendent at the school corporation central office. The meeting will be electronically recorded and will be kept on file in the superintendent's office. Copy of the audio recording will also be available on the NLCS website. The website address is www.nlcs.k12.in.us. Go ahead and call the meeting to order. Let the record reflect that Dr. Gerges, Mr. Arnold, Mrs. Collier, and I believe we did have Mr. Garrison and Scott Gillespie via Zoom. And it looks like we have.
Doesn't look like. That looks like Andrew. That doesn't look like.
Yeah. But we've got, yes, so we've got Mr. Garrison and Mr. Gillespie as well. We rise and uncover, say a pledge. Dr. Garrison, you lead some pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Review for approval minutes, executive session memorandum from October 22nd, 2020, and the executive session memorandum from November 5th, 2020. Motion. Dr. Gerges makes the motion in a second.
Second.
Mr. Arnold seconds the motion. Questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same. Thank you. Moving on. Item D. Persons to address the board relative to the agenda. No one? Okay, moving on. Item E, business services, Mrs. Rome.
Thank you, Mr. President. For payroll and claims since our last board meeting, we had a total of $4,744,502.91. Just bringing that to the board for your approval.
Yeah, motion to approve. Collier makes the motion in a second. Mr. Arnold seconds the motion. Questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item F, curriculum, Mrs. Dayton.
Just two updates. As you know, our middle and high school are in hybrid, so our teachers are continuing to prepare material to advance learning at home, and while our students are in person, our elementary teachers have also been practicing more and more technology skills with their students, and even holding mock virtual days in the classroom just to prepare students should the need arise for them to go virtual as well. And so they've even been holding Google Meets within their classroom just to have students practice getting on to a meet, how to mute themselves, how to raise their hand, and different skills. We know from our Empire Virtual Learning Academy, those elementary teachers have been helping our elementary teachers prepare, and the things that their students didn't know at the beginning of the year that they learned that, hey, well, you have students in person, practice these things. So they've had a checklist of things that they've been practicing just to ensure that our students are well prepared. In addition, that I'm sure you saw the articles that we were awarded the ROI community grant for $175,000 for the Early Learning Center to add infants and toddlers to our program. So we are excited. Shelley has been on the radio and there's a great article just sharing news about the center, has been meeting with Paths to Quality to kind of take the next steps in that so we can start accepting different payments of vouchers and On My Way Pre-K. And so we're just excited to expand that program, and we have had students start since the different articles and the different media that Shelley has done. So we're really excited to continue to grow that program.
Any questions for Meg? Thank you, Meg.
Thank you.
Item G, personnel, Mrs. Winzak.
Thank you. We'll start with support staff. Their license, we have Natasha Breedlove to be our new LPN at Playful Pathways. Under instructional, we have Charleston McCullough, Shawsbeck Elementary Super Sub, Hannah Romine, BMS Super Sub. And under custodial, we have Gavin Blackman, our new NLCS 190-day custodian. Bring those to you for your approval.
Any motion to approve? Dr. Gertis makes the motion in a second.
Second.
Mr. Arnold seconds the motion. Questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same. Thank you.
Thank you. Under transfers and support staff, we have Devin Henderson transferring from Need More Instructional Staff or Assistant to Need More Resource Instructional Assistant. Jack Maxwell is transferring from BMS Super Sub to the In-School Suspension Instructional Assistant. Amy Nykerk is transferring from Olytic Campus Library Instructional Assistant to Olytic Administrative Assistant. Carla Spears is transferring from B&L Kitchen to Parkview Kitchen. Emily Spoonmore is transferring from Olytic Instructional Assistant to Library Instructional Assistant. And Donnie Thomas is transferring from B&L Custodian to Olytic Custodian. Bring those to you for your approval.
Get a motion to approve.
So moved.
Mr. Arnold makes the motion in a second.
Second.
Dr. Gertis seconds the motion. Questions on the motion? See none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Rusty, and Mr. Gillespie needed to abstain, so we'll have 1, 4, 5 in favor, 1 to abstain for the record.
Thank you. Under extracurricular at BMS, we have Mallory Byers, our BMS dance coach. And at the Career Center, Logan Phelps, we have his summer agricultural contract for the academic year. I bring those to you for your approval.
Motion to approve.
Motion.
Dr. Gerges makes the motion in a second.
Second.
Let's call your seconds to motion. Questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same. Thank you.
Thank you. And several informational items. Under certified, we have Linda Brammer, separation of service. Brooke Batten resigning as Olytic resource instructor. Under support staff, we have Anna Bexel resigning as NLCS custodian. Amber Basilius resigning as NLCS nurse. Sharice Geary resigning as Olytic campus instructional assistant. Amanda Larson, advocate as BNO health aide. Stacy Moore resigning as BMS instructional assistant. Emily Taylor resigning as North Lawrence Learning Center nurse. Under retirement, we have Tony Henson retiring as 52-week custodian. Rosanna Roach retiring as instructional assistant. Another informational section, Michelle Hayes is remaining as school year 190-day custodian. That's a correction from last time. We had her as a 52-week. She's actually 190-day. Sarah Perry is returning as Shawsbeck Elementary instructional assistant. She was on a leave per se, doing her student teaching. And under medical leave, we have Kelly Cassidy requesting medical leave, Molly Embry requesting medical leave, Tammy Jean requesting medical leave, Brooklyn Morrow requesting medical leave, and Leonard Neff requesting medical leave, for your information.
Any questions for Christie?
Thank you.
Seeing none, thank you, Christie. Item H, General, Dr. Mungel.
First, I'd like to ask Mr. Zalman just to kind of give the board an update. I know lots of work are being done with the fields. We've been doing quite a bit with the swimming pool and different things. So if you just want to give an update.
Well, the fields are going good. We've got, I got to meet with Chris Tuesday. We had a little trouble with the electrical. And the swimming pool is up and going, no leaks as of right now. So, yeah. So, and with that, the bleachers are looking great. If anyone's been out and seen the bleachers at PVI, they're awesome. And then we got the ones that from Springville, we're putting them over there at Lincoln, and they're about done.
Awesome.
So,
Good.
yeah. So
They really look good.
yeah, they really do. Yeah,
You would have thought we bought them for that
yeah.
facility.
So, and plus with all the PMs and the little room we're remodeling, we got a lot of projects around the school. And then next week, I'm gonna get with, we're gonna start looking at moving furniture that we took out of the schools into the Olytic and Salisbury. So, any questions?
I bet the Lincoln teachers are thrilled to have more bleachers in there from the, I mean, how many rows were there in there?
There were 4.
Yeah.
And, for the convocations and everything, it'll be nice. Well, and I know at Parkview, both of the Parkviews, they were used very little because they were so hard to get out that once they got them out, they just kept them out. And now they can push a button and, well, Dr. Lemons was like, you mean I'm going to be able to do it by myself?
Yeah, electric motors.
That's nice.
Any questions?
Lots of things going on. but
Yes, there is. The artificial turf will, I think, be probably delivered end of next week, possibility.
Possibly, weather permitting.
Yes.
They've got the rock and the drainage, and hopefully they're hoping to finish up the concrete work tomorrow, and then they'll come right along. Where are we at with the Stalker roof? I know we've got a meeting.
I have a meeting tomorrow, 10 o'clock.
Okay.
So, and then we'll go from there. And I'll have some more information next week. So,
Okay.
How much rock did they encounter? Did they have to remove out there? Was it softball?
softball. It's the size of a crater. It was, he couldn't give away value, but it was.
They hammered about 3 days.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
For around here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot of dirt that's been moved.
Looks like it's coming along well.
Good. Thank you.
Thanks, Doc.
Thank you. First up for the board this evening, I have just extend our contract with closing the schools, and we have taken time to go through and look at all of our copying machines and everything. And actually moving forward, this extension will be right in the $12,000 to $15,000 a year savings. We just, because the changes were made, we needed to have a new contract. So I bring that to you for your approval tonight.
Get a motion to approve. Mr. Arnold makes the motion. A second. Ms. Collier seconds the motion. Questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, same. Thank you.
Next up for your approval, the state has, we do an upload every month with the state with the database, with our employees, our finances, lots of information. Indiana University has started a group. They went through and had 3, I believe, what would you call those schools? Pilot schools. And now they're expanding their pilot. It's a small amount, but the nice thing is their informatics school provides resources to Mrs. Davis and I think help us better prepare. So that is a smooth exchange of data every month. So I just as a formality, I bring that to you this evening. I know both Columbus schools, Monroe County schools, and I know we'll be now one too. So the other thing is we'll have some other schools to partner with.
Get a motion to approve. Motion. Dr. Burgess makes the motion. Second. Mr. Arnold seconds the motion. Questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same. Thank you.
Last up, I just have, as far as an update, our numbers in our schools continue to remain low and at a level that we feel is acceptable. You know, I continue to be very happy with the way our teachers and schools and custodial staff and everyone is, you know, working so hard. We are into basketball season. The state recommendation for level orange is that we would have capacity at 25%. We are limiting that down to about 13%. And we will monitor to see how that goes at our athletic events. You know, we want to be able to host those events. We are lucky enough that we have a larger gym and we're taking the additional precautions as far as having all the restrooms open and making the public service announcements and those things. That we will monitor and see how that goes. And like always, we'll continue to work with the county and keep things. We have, like Mrs. Dayton shared, had some practice e-learning days in school. You know, we'll just continue to monitor and watch. But, you know, we want to do everything we can to provide an opportunity for our students here in our schools. And that's what we hope that we can do. We've obviously done the hybrid. It is a way that we've been able to limit. And since then, I don't think we have had to quarantine over 5 students. When there has been a positive COVID, you know, student or teachers. So that has limited the number we've had to quarantine. And that was our intentions with the hybrid model. So for the most part, everything is going well. The only other thing on a side note, I know many of you know Mr. Combs, who was a longtime custodian here with North Lawrence Schools, and I just want to share our thoughts and prayers with his family. We received word that he passed away this week, and I just felt it was appropriate that I wanted to share that this evening. That's all I have.
Any questions for Dr. Mongol?
Just we're gonna get notice next week as to what we're gonna do after Thanksgiving.
Correct. Yeah, and we'll put that notice out Wednesday. That is when the state, we get a lot of the data and the numbers. It starts to come in on Tuesday. And I started to indicate Tuesday, and Mrs. Dayton and Mrs. Winsack quickly reminded me that we needed to wait till Wednesday, you know, until we got more information. So, but we'll share that out on Wednesday. Yeah.
Thanks for bringing it up about Jay Combs. obviously, hated to hear he'd been fighting for a long time, and, you know, Jay would come here and share his opinions, and respected him for that. Never any ill feelings towards him, and he gave the maintenance department a lot of good years, and good work, and for our schools and for our kids. So, on behalf of the board, you know, prayers to his family. Moving on, persons to address the board. Any cards out? Okay. Moving on to closing business. Will be an executive session at 5:15 PM on Thursday, December the 3rd, 2020 at the NLCS Administration Building. There will be an executive session at 5:15 PM and an NLCS School Board open session at 6:30 PM on Thursday, December 17th, 2020 at the NLCS Administration Building.
Question,
Yes.
is our meeting on the 3rd, or are we supposed to have an open? A short open session?
Yeah, I thought we were having
Finance meeting or something.
well, there's a meeting to approve the resolution that, in the paperwork related to the bonds.
Okay, so
There's a public hearing that night, yeah. So we'll have to have an open session as well. We'll make sure that gets,
We'll get that advertised.
So to clarify, for the record, on the 3rd, we will also have a public hearing
and an open session. Yeah.
and an open session on the 3rd.
Yeah, we'll make sure it gets properly published and notices sent to the meeting.
Same time, 6:30 PM, so we'll make sure that that gets. Okay, if there's nothing else,
I'll shut up now.
we'll take a motion to adjourn. Dr. Gertis makes the motion in a second. Mrs. Collier seconds the
I was
motion.
gonna shut up.
I was looking for Rusty or Scott for a second. I couldn't get anybody up here to second, but they don't want to leave. We had a motion in a second. All in favor, signify